Perelandra. Venus, science tells us, is a sulfurous volcanic planet, covered with smooth, desolate plains and continents. Yet the Venus described in C.S. Lewis's novel Perelandra takes much more after its Greek namesake, Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. First published in 1943 by the Bodley Head, Perelandra, a 190-page speculative science fiction novel, reveals the tale of a space traveler named Ransom, sent by supernatural forces to prevent the earthly fall from occurring once again, this time on Venus. Within the story, C.S. Lewis, an inspired theologist and writer, seems to give us his view of the background setting of the fall by placing it on another planet and having it run from there. It seems to be conveyed that he believes the glory of Eden before the fall to be greater than all glories, and that we had lost our greatest connection to God at that time. The topics addressed in this book reflect this worldview. Ransom deals with weakness and fairness, and struggles with obedience, but is comforted, strengthened, and reinvigorated by divine intervention, page 127, revealing the author's belief that weakness is always overcome by faith. The book is narrated in first person by a fictional Lewis, but most of the story is told by Ransom. The account is said to take place from 1942 to 1943, page 161, mostly on Perelandra, Venus, pages 29 through 190, but also partly on Perelandra, Earth, pages 9 through 28. As an earthly man, Ransom is merely a humble philologist with a faint background in boxing, page 129. As the protagonist and a dynamic character, however, his motives and feelings change throughout the novel, as he grows bolder and is strengthened by the heavenly presence of Mal-Eldil, page 127, the omnipotent deity who also counsels the Green Lady through her spiritual journey. The Queen of Perelandra must rely on the counsel of Ransom and Mal-Eldil in order not to become ensnared by Weston's temptations, the worldly physicist turned unman who seeks to twist and destroy all life, page 110. Throughout the book, the inner natures of all three characters are repeatedly made clear. The Green Lady is a blissfully innocent creature, swayed by a word, who yearns to grow older, as she calls it, and gain the wisdom to soar, page 52. She is defended by Ransom, the promising seed of a great faith, a man called by Mal-Eldil for the greater calling of thwarting Weston, the shell of a proud man, infested and possessed by demons, page 82. The opening pages of the book describe Ransom charging a fictional Lewis to await his return as he is sent to Perelandra by the Malacandrian Oyarsa, the heavenly ruler of Mars, page 21. He no sooner arrives on Venus and is greeted by the Green Lady, the Queen of Perelandra, searching for her lost husband, page 51, then is confronted by Weston, his former colleague, who has been possessed by the dark archon of Tellus, page 73. This force of evil attempts to tempt the Green Lady and question her trust of Mal-Eldil, until an infuriated Ransom then journeys alone underneath Perelandra, until being glorified by the reunited king and queen and sent back to Earth. During his temptation of the Green Lady, Weston, the Unman, makes many interesting arguments concerning the integrity of Mal-Eldil and our own Tellurian fall. He once claims that since the fall only brought about Christ's incarnation and the salvation of the world, therefore the fall was meant to happen, and that the good of the incarnation was greater than the good that would have occurred without the fall, page 103. Ransom only counters this with an inspiration from Mal-Eldil, that the glory of the incarnation was Mal-Eldil's way of countering the effect of the fall, page 104. We only perceive the good of the incarnation as better than the good of the Garden of Eden, because we have never seen the good of the Garden of Eden, and never will. C.S. Lewis also includes several passages packed full of textual elements. As he approached it, he saw that it ended in a fringe of undoubtedly vegetable matter. It trailed, in fact, a dark red skirt of tubes and strings and bladders, reads one passage from page 35, immediately conjuring up images of earthly seaweed, as do the excerpts reading, "He grabbed again and got a handful of whip-like red stings, but they pulled out of his hand and almost cut him. And, for 1 second, he was in a kind of vegetable broth of gurgling tubes and exploding bladders." Perelandra clearly paints a cunning picture of an Edenic world in all its glories. Positive subjects such as faith and perseverance are also promoted. However, there are several negative aspects to the author's lifestyle and culture that bleed through. First of all, several instances of indecency are mentioned and discussed, as well as the fact that Ransom and the Green Lady traverse the story naked. This was intended by the author to convey innocence and purity as shown in the Garden of Eden, but could be interpreted wrongly in the mind of immaturity. Overall, though, clearly a literary masterpiece to be cherished for millennia to come.